All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott, formerly of Rankin Technical College, and as part of my YouTube channel, JPS-Jeff Teaches Programming, and in particular the YouTube playlist, Jeff Teaches Programming-Python, I've been going over as many facets as possible of the Python programming language. We've done everything from simple programs to data structures to object-oriented to file handling, and now we're in database. When I left off last time, I wanted to print out or display all the tables that were in here that were made. And what I tried to do didn't work. So I went back and found a different thing on Geeks for Greeks. Geeks for Geeks. And basically, just to show you this, if I go in and run this now, do I still have the, yep, I got the database. So if I do run this now, at the very bottom, so connected, created all my tables, and then it says these are the tables that were created in the sales orders database. So I've got categories, customers, employees, vendors, products, product vendors, orders, and order details. So I've got all 8 of them, in other words. So the next thing I wanted to do, as you'd probably guess, would be to go and add the records. Now, when I first started doing this, this is an FYI for you. When I first started doing this, just grab this. All right. I mean, we just did the schema here, right? Okay. And let me show you this real quickly. And I mean quickly. So this, I'm going to bring up about all 8 files, is what this stuff looked like. Here was the order details. There were the orders. There were the product vendors. There were the products, the vendors, the employees, the customers, and the categories. So I clean this up, so to speak, and I want to show you what it looks like now. The schema has not really changed, but I want to show you the files. All right, so here's the sales orders. So insert into order details, not sales orders, order details. That's everything. And there's like 3,975 of these, I believe. All right. Next, these were the orders, and I think there were 944 of those, something like that. All right. Next, we had the product vendors, and it looks like there's about 80 some or 90 of those. Then we had the products, and you'll notice we've got about 40 products. The point is, what I'm trying to show you here is I clean this thing up. Here's the vendors, and there's about a dozen of them or so. Here's the employees. We only have 8. There's the customers. I think there's like 26. And there's the categories. So everything has been cleaned up. I even put this out there because this was how I did this. I went online and took a look at how I could do this. All right. So what I was hoping to do in here, if we go back to here and we go back and we look here at this file, clear this out. All right. So if you look at this, what we had done in here is we created all this. We created the connection, the categories table, the customers table, the employees table, the vendors table, the products table, the product vendors table, the orders table, and the create orders table. Now, it may have been better to actually have taken all these things and put them into one file as opposed to the way I did it. But I wanted you to really see what it was that I was going to do, or at least that I was trying to do. All right. So the next thing I want to do, so I'm going to put a comment in here, and this said, create the 8 tables in the sales orders database. All right. So the next thing that I would like to do would be to fill each of the 8 tables with records. All right. So I'm going to be doing imports, but for now, let's do this. We'll do these imports, but I'm going to put in the equivalent of a doc string here. And don't worry, this will be fixed literally now. There. So I'm going to import, and I'm going to say insert categories records as insert category ICAT, insert category, import insert, why I did that, but I did. Insert customer records as ICUS, import insert employee records as IEMP. What do we have next? So we've got categories, we've got customers, we've got employees. So we're up to vendors. Import insert vendor records as IVEN. Import insert product records as iPro. Import insert product detail records as iProven. And well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got orders and order details. All right, so this is what I'm going to attempt to do now, is to write these so I can fill these up and then run some select statements against them. All right, now, because I'm getting old and whatever, I want to remember how to do a bulk insert, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to close all these. So let's go back into here, my Python course, source files, Python DB. Oh, let's try demo 2, I think would work. So for instance, this was insert multiple employees. So I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to go back to here, And the first one was insert, let's make this category records. Yeah, that looks good. So let's add a new file here. It will be called insert category records.py. And I'm just, for now at least, I'm just going to paste this in. Now we have to come in and at the top, of course, we better import SQLite 3. All right. So again, this is going to be insert category records. All right. Now we've got that. And when we did this, we basically had to set it up like that. So insert So I'm going to grab that. That'll have to go in here. Attempt to insert records into the categories table. So we're going to have to call insert category records. All right. Now, hopefully I left that in here. All right, we did it like that. So that is insert category records, and that is under, was it ICAT? It was. So it should be, this should have an ICAT at the front, and hopefully then it'll work. So ICAT dot. All right, it says here ICAT is not defined. And it's because it's all commented out in here. So let's just do these one at a time. So there, now that's okay. And now this one should be okay. It is. Now in here, I don't want Fred and Wilma and all these goodies in here. Instead, what I want to put in here will be this. Just copy that for now. That's going to be categories. All right, and we'll come in here and put in this. Again, it's not going to be correct, but we'll fix it in a minute. So we're going to remove this. And we're going to put that in there. I think we're going to need, okay, that's the end of the paren for this. We don't need that paren. All right, it's okay because we're going to get this to work. All right, now I've got null in there, and notice it doesn't like that. It says null is not defined. Well, I don't want to actually put anything in there, but I think if I leave it blank, it's going to, if I do it like this, I don't think it's going to work, but we'll try it. All right, so insert, there's my connection, and there's what I'm trying to insert. So inserting that, there's that, and there's the categories. Try it and see if it works. File, save all. Let's go back to here. If this works, at the end, it should say multiple categories successfully inserted into table. If it doesn't work, it should say problem trying to insert database records. All right, so let's save. Let's run this. Let's get rid of the database first. All right, it does say problem. Problem trying to insert database records. Table categories has 2 columns, but 3 values were supplied. Don't know how we got 3 values in there. We got con, and we've got this. And we were expecting con and categories. Oh, how's that? Let's try it again. To run the right file. All right, problem trying to insert database records. Incorrect number of bindings supplied. The current statement uses 2, and there are 5 supplied. Well, there's the 5. Got this. Okay, we did it the other way. It's exactly the way we did it before. Let's find in here, insert multiple employees. Well, one thing is, it's in main, insert category records, try, make your cursor, execute many, insert into categories values, those are the categories, that's that, commit it, multiple categories successfully inserted, otherwise problem we're trying to insert, incorrect number of bindings supplied. The current statement uses 2 and there are 5 supplied. Imps. There's 3. I did it the same way. Look at that. All right, bring that up and see if I can look at both of them at once here. So this is insert multiple employees. Con, emps, it's categories now. Oh, we need a try in there. We did put a try. C equals con.cursor, C.execute many, insert into categories, values. Technically, I wonder if this is wrong, because the only value we're putting in is that one. I have no idea if that'll fix it or if that's going to screw it up more. So now it says table category says 2 columns, but 1 value is supplied. Now, I think part of the problem is it's expecting 2 things. And we're not passing null in there. So see, if we do that, it does not understand what null is. I don't know if we put it in like this, if the system would understand what it is we're trying to do. I don't know. Now I'm doing this. I don't think this is right, but I'm going to try it anyway. Let's kill this. Let's run it again. Nope. It says table category says 2 columns, but 1 value was supplied. And when we tried doing it and didn't have that in there, it didn't like it either. So categories really is supposed to be just these. Did not like this either, though. So here I'm passing that. That should be categories. All right. But when we do that, we're getting that same error. It has 2 columns, but 1 value was supplied. Python. How to pass a null value to a key. Apply not null, unfortunately. Okay, so let's call this integer primary key. Yeah, I mean, null doesn't actually make any sense in there. But that doesn't tell how to do it. Basically, you can add null to primary key columns, but you cannot add null to integer primary key. I'm going to keep that one up and keep looking here. See, I don't want to manually have to go in there and add these. All right, I don't want to do that. I mean, I can try doing that. But the last one has got 3,000 some records in there, and that's ridiculous. I thought we had 6 categories, and I'm only seeing 5 here. What did I lose? I lost accessories, bikes, clothing, components, car racks, wheels. Fantastic. So it's accessories. So these numbers will all have to change. Okay, let's clear this. Save this and try to run it again. No. Tuple object is not callable. Well, let me try one more thing first, and that is, even though I wouldn't think this would be right, see if we surround these with quotes. Which very well could lead to a different type of error. I think it's the same error, but let's see. Yep, tuple object is not callable. Let's see. Define a table with an auto-incrementing primary key. And inserting the data. Okay, this might have the answer, and I'm going to look at it. But I'm at 30 minutes, and I'm just going to pause right now and take a quick look. All right, I went out to this Python SQLite 3 to find a table with auto-incrementing primary key. So I'm going to have to make a couple changes, but I've got this. I'll show you exactly what I did in just a moment. So this now I can get rid of, and let's not do that. Let's just comment it out in case I do need it later. I don't think I will, but just in case. All right, so c.execute. That's creating the table. Of course, we don't want that. We want this. Copy. Let's see if we can insert it right here. So insert into categories. The ID and the name values null. And of course, this would be category. Give me an error saying that this wasn't closed, so there's no ending paren there. I think that's what it was. Let me get rid of this. All right. So insert into categories. Okay. I don't know why I couldn't. All right, I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to call insert category records. And just all I'm going to pass in. Let me grab all of this out of here now. So I'm going to call icat.insert category records and pass the connection. All right, then in here, where I have done this, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get rid of categories here. Okay, and I'm going to attempt to insert the data. So there's the categories. For category and categories, execute, put into categories the ID. So what in the categories table, I also found out in here that you can, when you set this up, you can put in auto increment. ID integer primary key auto increment, and I didn't do that. So I'm going to go back to where I set up the tables. This was the category table. We got category ID and category description. This is integer primary key, and I'm going to add onto that auto increment like that. And I need category ID and category description. I might be going from bad to worse here, but that's okay. Insert into categories. So this was category ID and category description. All right, let's put this in, and this is one of the reasons here we use our doc string, so we can put this over multiple lines. All right, so insert into categories. This will all hopefully be fixed very shortly. The category ID and the category description. Let's get rid of this, put that here. Values will be null and then question mark, and that will be the category, which we just set up right here. So if this works, it should say multiple categories successfully inserted into table. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to get an error, as I have been getting. So sales orders, Let's get rid of the database. Let's do a file, save all on here, and let's try running it again. Close this and run. Oops, run the right one. So let's clear this. Move this up so we can see what's going on. Nope. Problem trying to insert unrecognized token. All right, that's the null, I believe, because there's category. Oof. Well, this was wrong. Again, I keep trying to run the wrong program. Problem trying to insert near there. Syntax error. All right, it's where I'm ending, so I've got an ending paren in there. I think I'm getting close, though. Probably is that. Let's try that. Looks like another syntax error. Yep, problem trying to insert records near here. Syntax error. All right, the way that it was done in that article was like this. They put everything on one line, which I don't like doing, but insert into categories. All that, and then values, and then they ended here the double quote like that, which would mean we wouldn't need that, but we do need an ending parenthesis. So I'm doing the same thing, but instead of breaking it up into a document using a doc string, I'm just putting it all in one line. So let's do a file, save all here. Again, let's get rid of the database. Look at that. Multiple categories successfully inserted into table. All right. Now, I do want to see if we can do this. Let's see. I'm gonna grab this and use this for lack of better words, I'm going to use this as a template. I'm going to come back to here, and where we put this in right here. All right, so yeah, now it says the records were successfully inserted, which is good. Now I want to say these are the records. These are the categories in the categories table. All right, so what I want to say here is just select star from categories. All right, execute it. These are the categories. Fetch all. Now, the problem here is this. These have to all be moved over a tab. There we go. So let's see if we actually got those records in there, is what I'm saying. Let's get rid of the database. Bring that over. Run this. And looky, looky. 1 accessories, 2 bikes, 3 clothing, 4, 5, 6. All right. So I have discovered, after 42 minutes, I have discovered how to go in and put in my records. All right, so what I'm going to do is, and I'm not going to do this in front of you, but I'm going to do the other one. So this worked. These were the tables. Multiple categories were inserted. These are the categories. So everything is good. But I want to do a similar thing. So in other words, what I want to do is I want to go in. Let's clear this. I think we can do part of this now. And I'm going to grab where I have insert records category. I'm going to copy that and paste and paste. And I'm going to call the first one, so I'm going to rename it. This will be insert customer records. And then the one after that will be insert employee records. That's got to be this one. If I can get those done, that would end the first part of this tape. Okay, so let's do a file. That's all fine. So let's close this. Let's do a file, save here, and let's. Okay, that was the insert category, was right here. All right. So again, I'm going to save that, and I'm going to close that. Now I'm going to try to put in the employee records. All right. So this will be insert employee records. This will be for employee in employees. That's okay. That's employees also then. All right, I can get rid of these. I can bring this down. Find my employees from in here. So when I did this and actually inserted it, I didn't need the nulls. So let's get rid of those. All right, well, that screwed up, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to save this, and now I'm going to bring up the next one, which I think I'm doing customers next. I don't even remember. All right, so let's get rid of all those nulls in there as well. All right, so they're all gone. So now I'm going to grab all of this that I've got in here, copy it to the clipboard, put it in here for employees. I know it's ugly as heck. I get that, but that's all right. These are my customers. So, yeah, I put it into insert employee records. Okie dokie. So these are wrong. Let's get rid of these right away. These are our customers. All right, so that'll go in here. Just paste that in. I can play with that later as far as fixing it up. Let's find the employee, so I'm not doing them in order, but that's okay. So file, open. It is the next one anyway. So again, we don't want this. Okay, so we'll bring in our employees. Okay. There's our employees. I'm gonna have to make some changes in here. I'm cool with everything we're doing here. So, all right. So these are our employees. Try to line everything up here. There we go. All right. So for employee and employees, insert into employees. And I'm going to need, this is going to be real ugly, and it's going to go way the hay over here. All right. Actually, I might be able to do it like, no. Well, this will be employee ID. What else do we have in here? Got to go back to the schema. So here's our employees. Here, let's just grab all these. Come down here. Okay. zip code, area code, and phone number. All right, so that's everything. Like I said, I'm sorry. I probably could figure this out if I looked at it, or if I could cheat and go to something like ChatGPT, but what are we learning if we do that? All right. So I forgot the employee ID. So insert into employees, employee ID, employee first name, employee last name, street address, city, state, zip code, area code, phone number. Values are going to be null. And then the question mark is going to be employee. Okay, so we're trying to insert in the employees table. So this will say multiple employees. All right, this will be select star from employees. And then it'll say these are the employees in the employees table. If this works, let's first come in and do a file, save all. Let's remove the database. And I want to do one more thing first. That is for both of these. Let's see. Close this. Go back to here. And where I'm printing this. So that's ICAT. Let's just first make sure. Okay, so these were the tables, and then attempt to insert records. Now we're doing the second one, the third one actually. So the second one will be attempt to insert records into the customers table, and it'll be ICUS dot, and it'll be insert customer records con. Now, the reason it's not working is I haven't written that yet. So, then the one after that will be attempt to insert records into the employees table. That's the one we just did. So that'll be IEMP, and that'll be insert employee records. Thought it was IEMP. Oh, I got to uncomment that. All right. So file, save all. Let's see if we've got employee records. Now, after we finished with, it doesn't like IEMP though. Oh, okay, that's why. I've got to comment this one out too. Okay, now it should work. But before, let's see. I'm going to put here, I'm just going to print a blank line. And I'm going to print one here too. I'm just going to print one before all these. Not there. Jeez Louise, Jeffrey. Down here. So, there. And there. Now the first one worked, so I can now remove this. So, file, save all. Is this clean? Well, we'll clear it. All right. Do we have our database gone? Yes, we do. Let's run this. Okay, trying to insert 2 values for 9 columns. Well, that's I'm running into the same thing that I had before. Oh, fudge. And I wonder if what it is, I am going to have to put the numbers in, and I forgot about that. So that's on me. Let's clean this. Let's get rid of the database. This manually putting these numbers in is a pain in the behind, and I'm sure there's a much better way of doing it than the way I'm doing it. So when we inserted the categories, that was to create the table. We want to insert the category of records. Categories equal that. Okay. See, I want to put multiple employees in there, and that is what I did here. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, there will be 9 in just a minute because I have to put those numbers in there. So I need in here, why did I do that here? No, it worked. But there was just one value. Category description. Values. All right. Well, I'm going to have to look at this. I know what the problem is. All right, it'll be just a matter of figuring it out. So that'll be it for part 1 of this.